Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mwangi and I make college related content. So today we're going to talk about the SAT in all its glory. And if you've already taken the SAT in October and some of you DM'd me about this, I'm sorry that I couldn't make this video early enough for you guys, and I'm sure you did great, you did amazing, you did the best that you could, and I just felt I felt like it wouldn't be in the best taste to make this video a bit earlier in the year because of everything that was going on with COVID and exams being cancelled all the time. But I'm sure all of you are fine. Keep it up, okay? And for the rest of you who are taking the test maybe in November or December, I hope you can pick up a few things from my videos. I'm going to do two parts, and let's start. So what is the SAT? I hope all of you know this by now. If you don't, the SAT is a standardized test. I'm looking down at my iPad, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing, sorry. But the SAT is a standardized test that is administered by an international examination board called College Board. If you want to check them out, it's collegeboard.org. I'll put it on the screen, and they administer the test worldwide. So but the tests are usually different, like in Kenya and in US we'll have different tests, and you pay directly to College Board. You don't pay to any organization in your country, and you do the test in your country, yes, but you pay to an international organization. So you pay to College Board, but you do it in a test center in your country. I can only speak for Kenya, and probably only Nairobi. There's a couple of test centers. They usually remain the same: Oswald, Brookhouse, West Nairobi, Eldoret Polytechnic, Roslyn. There's usually a list when you're paying for the College Board exam. There's a list of test centers in your city, in your country, and you pick, but you shouldn't pay any money to the test center. And the SAT, obviously you have to pay for it. It's really expensive, I'm not going to lie. For me it was like $100. I know this year it's probably like $130 or something like that. It's increased. So the actual test is $50, I think, like $47.50, but you pay like international shipping fee, international sitting fee, international test fee, international whatever. So for international students it's double. So if you want to take the SAT, I would say you need about like 15,000 Kenya shillings, which is a lot, but it is a necessary expense. And then the SAT is administered usually 4 to 5 times a year. I know in Kenya there's usually a test date in March, in May, in October, and in December. Then I think there are usually a few extra for subject tests like November and August. I think so. And yeah, not counting 2020 because COVID ruined everything, but I know starting in October there are tests every month. So if you want to take the SAT this year, you should register for a test maybe in November or in December. It's usually the first Saturday of the month. So who am I and why should you listen to anything I say about the SAT? Well, you kind of should, but you kind of shouldn't. So I'm a student who went through the SAT process. I'm currently a freshman at Harvard. Yay! Okay. So I took the SAT in October 2019, October 3rd, I think, 2019, the first Saturday of October. I only took the SAT once. I got a score of 1510 out of 1600. The test is out of 1600, which is a pretty good score. Relatively, I say relatively because it depends on the kind of schools you're applying to. So their schools I was applying to literally had average scores of like 1540, 1560, and I had my 1510. I was content with it in that I didn't take the test again. I was like, it's good enough, I hope. I guess it was. I got 770 in math out of 800, and I got 740 in verbal, again out of 800. I said I took the test once. If you take the test early on, you have the opportunity to take it more than once. You can take it literally as many times as you want. So some people take the test in maybe October, then if you don't get the score, you want to take it again in December. Maybe you take it in December, take it again in January. Wait, is that test center in, but is that test date in January? No, I don't think so. Maybe you take it in May, then you'll take it again in October. But honestly, if possible, you can save the money. Personally, I couldn't afford to take the test again, so I just took it once and was satisfied with my 1510. I studied for the SAT for 6 weeks. So I started my college application process the last week of August 2019, which is really, really late. Like, people start the preparation for college like 2 years before. In Kenya, people will start in like January if you're in an organization that does that kind of thing. So I felt really behind, but if you're starting the process right now, don't be discouraged. I did it, you can do it. If you can get it, I can get it. I can get it, you can get it. What? Fine. But yeah, so I studied for the SAT from the last week of October to the first week. What? The last week of August to the first week of October. So that's August, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, 4 weeks, and then October, 6. And yes, I studied 6 to 8 hours per day, Monday to Friday. People are strangely interested in hearing how many hours I studied. Yes, I got my hair done, so I'm going to Nini. Y'all are gonna see it. Sorry. People are strangely interested in hearing how many hours I studied. I get that question a lot, but yeah, I know you want to know everything. 6 to 8 hours every day, Monday to Friday. Reasons for this: number one, I wasn't in university, I wasn't in high school, I wasn't working a job, I wasn't doing anything else. All I was doing was studying for the SAT. And it's 100% fine if you're doing something else. A lot of people are still in high school, in university, have a job, and they want to take the SAT. Just set aside a time every day, like 2 hours, 3 hours every day while you're studying, that you're studying for the SAT. And I would also advise you to start earlier so that you have more time to prepare, and then you can maximize on your weekend. So on Saturday and Sunday, maybe you can read for 6 hours on Saturday and Sunday. And like 6 hours sounds a lot, but I think I'm just used to reading a lot, so 6 hours of reading doesn't seem that much to me. I was also taking SAT classes, so that like also took some time out of that 6 to 8 hours. And also, let me just tell you guys, this SAT was all or nothing for me. I knew that I wanted more out of my university experience. I didn't want to go to university in Kenya. I knew I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to discover new things. I wanted to grow as a person, intellectually, academically, socially, all those things. Literally, I gave up my spot in a public university in Kenya that the government would pay partially. I gave up my spot in a private university in Strathmore where I had a full scholarship. I gave up my university in the UK that I had gotten into. So I literally had like 100% all my eggs were in the SAT basket. So when I tell you guys all I did was read, because I had a lot riding on the SAT. And I just think you need to decide what your priority is. I know a lot of people watching my channel are usually like Form 4 leavers, first years, thinking about going to the US, and you need to decide what is important for you. I said this in my previous video, I think 2 videos ago, that you need to decide where your energy is. If going to the US or going to university abroad is your priority, then you need to put more energy in that. Quick side note, but yeah. And then I did pay for the SAT from my own pocket, well, from my mother's pocket, but the SAT was so expensive for me. I had to convince my parents to give me like 15K. I don't know about you guys, but literally 15K for one day, because it was literally just one day of a test, literally like 3 hours. And I couldn't afford to take it twice. Like, that's a lot of money. And for me, do you? I didn't get an SAT fee waiver. It's actually quite difficult to get an SAT waiver as an international student. At least in my country, because in Kenya, why do I act like anyway, in Kenya, because I wasn't part of any of these organizations that are like community-based organizations that help students. So if you want to find an SAT fee waiver, I would advise you to join those organizations like Zawadi Africa, like KenSAP, like Akili Dada, I'm not sure about that, like Equity Leadership Program. Those ones I know they usually have ACT waivers. I'm not confirmed on this because I wasn't in them, but yeah, I paid for it. It is a necessary investment, honestly. Like that 15K, if I compare it to where I am now, it's an investment, and look at it in the long term. Yeah. And let's go to what everyone actually is here for, what books I used. So please, disclaimer, I paid for these books. I had to buy these books because, as I said, I was taking SAT classes. Let's just talk about them. Number one, I used for math, Dr. Chang, 63 tips, something like that. So this book was hard. Dr. Chang hard. If you've ever done a test from Asia, an SAT Asia test, you know how hard it is. His book is like that. So the tests were hard. It had a lot of unnecessary, not a lot, but it had unnecessary like information, like mathematical information. But I would say like I didn't have like I didn't like it, I didn't hate it. It was just fine. It was just a textbook. The second one is for reading, which is the first section. I hope you all know this by now. The SAT has 4 sections. What? Yes, 4 sections, 2 parts, 4 sections. Each part has 2 sections. What? Let's talk about it. So the first part is called verbal or English. You can call it English, I guess. So section 1 is passages, comprehension and passages. Section 2 is grammar. So those 2 add up to 800. Then you have part 2, which is math. So there's math, that is section 3, because section 1, section 2, section 3, no calculator. And then math, section 4, which is with calculator. I don't know if I've explained that very well. So there is comprehension and passages, there's grammar, there is math, no calculator, there's math with calculator. All that adds up to 1600. I hope you can see my class spectrum. Yeah. So for reading, I used Erica Meltzer reading book. Honestly, I didn't use this book that much. I preferred to study for comprehension by doing actual passages, and so I didn't use this book that much except to read for infographics, like how to read the graph. I didn't know how to read like the graphs and the things because they were weird to me, unfamiliar, I should say, unfamiliar. So yeah, the third book I used is Erica Meltzer grammar book. Not going to lie, this book was lit, this book was amazing, this book literally is the reason I passed grammar no cap. So she had like, the book was divided into I think like 16 chapters or something like that, where each chapter focused on a grammar rule, and I don't particularly like grammar, so I just crammed the rules and I guess it worked. But those are the 3 books, like textbooks, I used. Please don't feel like you have to buy these books, you don't. And next I'm going to talk about resources I used that were free, that you can use and not buy textbooks. So number 1 is Khan Academy. Literally, if you're taking the SAT and you're not on Khan Academy, what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? Okay, that's my attempt at having an accent. Khan Academy is what we call life. Okay, it's free. It's so many resources. The passages, oh my god, the practice passages are the reason I passed that first section. Those practice passages are amazing. They have so many questions. They explain math topics. Khan Academy is literally lit. It's KHAN space Academy. I'll put the link down below. Then you can open an account and do the SAT thing. Number 2 was the College Board Guide and the 10 free College Board tests. So I just found a PDF on the internet of the College Board Guide where they outline like how to take the SAT, because the SAT was completely new to me and I had never even seen those answer sheets for the SAT. So I read through that guide. It's free. It's a PDF on the internet, I think. And then they give you 10 free tests, and these tests are so amazing. They are actual tests that you can practice with. They give you the test questions, they give you the answer sheets, and they give you the explanations, and that explanation part is so important because you can understand why you got whatever question wrong and how to fix it. Those 10 tests, my friend, very important. Number 3, 4 and 5 are PDFs that I found on the internet randomly. So College Panda Math, Barrons, and Princeton Review. So these books, they are books, and you can buy the latest edition from like the internet. You can buy the latest edition, I think, online, but I didn't like have the money for that, so I just used like old editions. So I don't know what the latest edition is. Let's say, for example, the latest edition is the 7th edition 2019. I probably found like a 4th edition from like 2017 and used it. Although I would say beware, don't use any books before 2016, because from March 2016 the SAT changed its content and its structure. So if you have any book after March 2016, it should be fine, I guess. So I use those PDFs as supplementary material. I didn't use them a lot. I used them kidogo too. Next is past SAT papers from shady looking websites. So I say shady because they're not the most secure places on the internet. Let's be honest, piracy is a thing. Sorry. Places that I like to use is Reddit. Not that Reddit is not secure, but whatever. Reddit and a place called Crack SAT, which the name is a bit weird. But like cracking the SAT. Oh, guys. Okay. Crack SAT. Power is back. Sorry. They're building something on Mombasa Road that's killing our power. But yeah, Crack SAT and Reddit. So those are all the resources that I used. Please don't feel like you have to buy any books. Khan Academy, College Board, and all those extra PDFs should be enough depending on the type of person you have. Please, YouTube, oh my god, use YouTube. There are people on YouTube who discuss the SAT. Organic Chemistry Tutor, thank god for such people. Khan Academy, thank god for Sal Khan. Some of us would have failed out of everything by now, but yeah, those are the resources. This is the third time I've filmed this. Please god, let this thing be filming. Okay, it's still filming. Okay, what was I saying? A lot of people ask me what is a good SAT score, and I don't know if there's anything like a good SAT score. Well, there is, but it's very relative to number one, the rest of your application. Is your stats going to be your most important part, or do you have like super amazing activities that are more important than your stats? Number two, what type of schools are you applying to? Are you applying to top 20 schools? Are you applying to state schools? Are you applying to art schools? Are you applying to college, community college? It all depends. Personally, my target was 1540, and I was very salty that I got 1510 because I got one question wrong in section 4 maths, so I got 770. Kingfisher, October 2019, look for it. I hate it. But let's move on. Why did I do that? Stop. What was I saying now? Okay, my target was 1540 because I was applying to top 20 schools. So my schools, the schools I was applying to are very like elite and like 4% acceptance rate and like 2% acceptance rate. So just go into Google, okay? Do this. Google is your friend. Stanford, assuming you want to know for Stanford average SAT score. In fact, Stanford average SAT score international applicants. I don't know what that was, but it will give you a range that I guess is the range for Stanford applicants. So try to be like in the between the 25th and the 75th percentile of that school. However, don't let SAT score scare you. Don't refrain to apply from a school you really want to just because the SAT score is like 1570 and you have 1510 and you want to be like a person in Big Bang Theory. So don't let the SAT score scare you off. However, be practical. I believe in practicality. I'm not going to say don't apply to schools because they are out of your reach. That's the worst piece of advice I've ever been given, because if I applied to schools that I thought were within my reach, I wouldn't be where I am now. But I will say backup schools, very important. Very important. Let's just leave it at that. And yeah, public service announcement. I'm going to do a series of videos where I invite Kenyan, maybe African students if I can find them, who have gotten into US universities, UK and Canada if I can find them. So please let me know, number one, what schools you would like me to find people from. Number two, what questions you would like me to ask them. And number three, school specific questions are welcome. So I'd appreciate it if you leave it in the comments down below, or you can run to my Instagram and DM me there. My Instagram will be somewhere on the screen. Okay. I obviously will not be able to find people from all the university you guys ask for, but I'll try my best. I'm filming the first round in a couple of days and I'm really excited about it, but let's see how it goes. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It's a red cheesy button down there. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I already have 730 subscribers. I don't know 730 people in real life. What is happening? I love all of you guys. I've talked too much. I'm going to stop so that I can film part 2 of this video. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. What else am I supposed to say? Follow me on Instagram. Okay, thanks. Bye.